umaga po, I have entitled God's Message, A Call for Evaluation and Meditation. A Call for Evaluation and Meditation. Ito po ay isang paanyaya sa bawat isa sa atin. Ito po ay isang paanyaya upang sariwain natin ang nakalipas na taon. Hindi lang siguro yung 2012, kundi yung mga nakaraan pang mga panahon sa buhay natin. Ito po ay isang paanyaya upang sariwain ang nakalipas at pagbulayan din po ang panghinaharap. So this is a call for evaluation on what happened in the past and meditation on how are we going to face the new year or the years to come. We want something new. We want a new beginning. We want to have a fresh start. At alam niyo ba mga kapatid, that's the same desire God has for His chosen people, the Israelites. Way back Old Testament times. Ito po yung ating desire ngayon na gusto ko ng bago. I want something new. I want a fresh start. I want a new beginning. Alam niyo po, yan din po yung desire ng Panginoon sa Kanya pong mga piniling mga anak, no? Piniling mga tao. These are the Israelites. Way back the Old Testament times. Okay? And so, we will look this morning on the characters of Moses and Joshua and learn from their lives. So, titingnan natin, since God desires something new for these people, for the Israelites, ay titingnan po natin kung paano po ginawa ng Panginoon ang kanyang nais na pagbabago sa mga Israelites through the persons of Moses and Joshua. Okay, first, let's have an evaluation of Moses' life. So, yung title po natin, Evaluation, A Call for Evaluation and Meditation. So, first part is, we will look on, we will have an evaluation of Moses' life. Sariwain po natin ang napakamakabuluhang buhay ni Moises. Para sa akin, it's really a fruitful life. Okay? Para sa akin, Moses is one of my biblical idols. No, not idolatry, kundi isa po siya sa mga characters sa Bible na hinahangaan ko. Okay? Because of lots of qualities na hindi po natin kakayaning aralin sa umagang ito. Pero I hope and pray that we can have a glimpse of this wonderful and fruitful life of Moses. And let's evaluate. Okay? So let's read Deuteronomy. Let me invite you to open your Bibles to the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 34, verses 1 to 12. At habang binabasa ko po ito ay you put yourself on that occasion, on that event, no? Huwag lang po natin itong basahin na para lang tayong nagbabasa, kundi pilitin po natin ilagay yung sarili natin. What if we were there during that time? No? So titingnan po natin. Let's first have Deuteronomy 34, verses 1 to 12, and just follow me with your eyes. So this is the account in the Bible that talks about the death of Moses. Okay, verse 1, Now Moses went up from the plains of Moab to Mount Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, which is opposite Jericho. And the Lord showed him all the land, Gilead as far as Dan, and all Naphtali and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah as far as the western sea, and the Negev and the plain in the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, as far as Zor. Then the Lord said to him, This is the land which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I have let you see it with your eyes, but you shall not go over there. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. And he buried him in the valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor, but no man knows his burial place to this day. Although Moses was 120 years old when he died, his eye was not dim, nor his vigor abated. So the sons of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. Then the days of weeping and mourning for Moses came to an end. Now Joshua, the son of Nun, was filled with the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands on him, and the sons of Israel listened to him and did as the Lord had commanded Moses. And since that time, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. For all the signs and wonders which the Lord sent him to perform in the land of Egypt against Pharaoh, all his servants, and all his land, and for almighty power, and for all the great terror which Moses performed in the sight of Israel. Okay? So, let's have an evaluation of the life of Moses. Mga kapatid, when we evaluate, we consider, or we should consider, the positive and negative sides. No, kapag nag-evaluate po tayo ng ating pag-aaral, hindi na natin tinitingnan, galing ko pala sa quiz ko ngayong 2012. We also look on what? We also look on the downfall. We also look and review yung mga parts na hindi tayo pumasa o sumablay tayo, because that's part of evaluation. No, ang evaluation na positive lang po yung tinitingnan, bias po yun. No, it's not an evaluation at all. Because an evaluation, according to, of course, to dictionaries and other sources, ito po ay you consider all the aspects, okay, of something that you evaluate. Sa business, ang mga top managers, the top management team, during their annual meeting and evaluation, they use what we call SWOT analysis. Okay? Pag sinabing SWOT, ito yung strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So, hindi lang sila tumitingin na kailan ba naging maganda yung, o ano ba yung aspeto na naging maganda yung company natin, no? So, when they do SWOT analysis, they look on even the negative parts, the negative side. So, ito rin po yung ating gagawin ngayong umaga na ito. I hope and pray that for a short time, we can have a meaningful summary of Moses' life, both the positive and negative areas, and learn from them. Okay, balikan po natin yung binasa natin na passage, specifically verses 1 to 6. So, it took 40 years for Moses to lead the people of God. And here comes verses 1 to 6 of Deuteronomy 34, na kapag babasahin mo at kapag ilagay mo yung puso mo on the part of Moses, you would say, what? Unfair. Bakit? Bakit unfair? Ano po bang nangyari? Ano po bang nangyari? Look on verse 4. Then the Lord said to Moses, "This is the land which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants, and I have let you see it with your eyes." Pinapakita ko sa iyo ito ngayon, Moses, subalit, datapwat, ngunit, pero, hindi ka pwedeng pumasok doon. If you were Moses, pinamunuan mo yung Israelites, for 40 years. 40 years. Okay? At saan mo sila pinamumunuan? You have been leading them towards what? The promised land. At ikaw na leader, ikaw pa ang hindi makakapasok. Ano po yung pakiramdam kaya? No? Grabe naman. Isn't it unfair? For a lead of all, ito yun of all people na pwedeng pumasok doon sa promised land, si Moses pa yung hindi. Na siya ngayong masasabi pa natin, no? As the Bible is telling us, he is really a righteous man. He is faithful with the Lord. Faithful in the Lord. Pero why of all people, hindi po siya makakapasok? Anyone na nakakaalam po ng reason? Huwag na po tayo manghula, no? Let's look on Deuteronomy 32 so that we will understand the context of this. Deuteronomy 32, verses 44 to 52. Deuteronomy 32, verses 44 to 52. Then Moses came and spoke all the words of this song in the hearing of the people, he with Joshua the son of Nun. When Moses had finished speaking all these words to Israel, he said to them, "Take to your heart all the words with which I am warning you today, which you shall command to your sons to observe carefully, even all the words of this law. For it is not an idle word for you. Indeed, it is your life. And by his word, you will prolong your days in the land, which you are about to cross the Jordan to possess." Verse 48. The Lord spoke to Moses that very same day, saying, "Go up to this mountain of the Abarim, Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, opposite Jericho, and look at the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the sons of Israel for a possession. Then, sabi ng Panginoon, then die on the mountain where you ascend and be gathered to your people, as Aaron your brother died on Mount Hor and was gathered to his people. Why? Why die? Why not enter Canaan? Verse 51, because you, Moses, broke faith with me in the midst of the sons of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because you did not treat me as holy in the midst of the sons of Israel. For you shall see the land at a distance, but you shall not go there into the land which I am giving the sons of Israel. What's the reason kung bakit hindi po makapasok si Moses? Verse 51. Because what? He broke faith with God. And probably kung ikaw po isang taong matanong pa, broke faith, imposible. Kailan nangyari na si Moses, anong oras, sa anong pagkakataon na nag-broke faith si Moses? And for sure, as Christians, familiar tayo. Di ba si Moses yung kumuha doon ng Ten Commandments? Di ba si Moses doon yung nagalit nung nakita niya, pagkababa niya, nagkaroon na sila ng mga Diyos-Diyosan? Di ba nagalit si Moses? He got angry. Sinira niya yung mga ginawang Diyos-Diyosan. He led the Israelites for 40 years. And now, here's a verse telling us, he broke faith with, saan? Saan banda? Ang sabi po dito lang, kung dito lang kayo mag-base, sabi dito, he broke faith with me in the midst of the sons of Israel. So, binroke ni Moses ang kanyang pananampalataya o yung kanyang dependence sa Panginoon sa harap ng Israel. So, parang in short, no, kung i-rephrase natin, parang pinahiya niya ang Panginoon sa harap ng mga Israelites. But the question again is, kailan? Saan banda? Anong event na pinahiya niya ang Panginoon? Anong event na hindi niya in-honor ang Panginoon sa harap ng mga Israelites? So, here comes a question why that would lead us back again to another passage. No? Ayaw kong mag-miss natin ito kasi kapag tanungin tayo, wala tayong masagot, patay tayo niya. No? So, where? Saan banda po na nagkaroon po ng breaking of faith si Moses sa Panginoon? In Numbers chapter 20, verses 8 to 13. Numbers 20, verses 8 to 13. Let me read it. Ito yung Meribah Kadesh na sinasabi po doon sa Deuteronomy 32. Numbers 20, verse 8, take the rod, and you and your brother Aaron assemble the congregation and speak to the rock before their eyes, that it may yield its water. You shall thus bring forth water from them out of the rock, and let the congregation and their beasts drink. So Moses took the rod. Di ba? Nag-obey naman si Moses. So Moses took the rod from before the Lord, just as he had commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly before the rock, and he said to them, listen, now you rebels, shall we bring forth water for you out of this rock? Then Moses lifted up his head and struck the rock twice with his rod, and water came forth abundantly, and the congregation and the beasts drank. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you have not believed me, to treat me as holy in the sight of the sons of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. So ano pong nangyari? Di ba inobey naman ni Moses yung commandment ng Panginoon? Pero ano po yung banda dito na kung saan masasabi natin he broke faith with God? Okay, so ang dami po actually ito. Ang daming Bible scholars nagsasabi ito isang reason. Isang reason is na-struck yung rod. Kasi ang utos naman, sabi nito ng ibang Bible scholars So I will present first yung mga sabi ng ibang mga kapatiran natin. Sabi ng Panginoon sa 8, take the rod. Okay? Parang sabi ng iba na hindi siguro nagre-read between the lines, take the rod lang, di naman sinabi ng Panginoon you strike the rod Okay? Pero for some, na deeper, hindi of course, obvious na yun. Yun din yung rod naman na ginamit ni Moses in the 10 plagues, di ba? Na talagang inaano niya, then nangyayari yung mga plagues ng Panginoon. So, okay yun. Taking the rod means, of course, you also have to strike the rod. Pero sabi nga po, meron namang ibang Bible scholars na kasi ang ginawa ni Moses twice. Twice niya. Ang sabi ng iba, ang pangalawa kasi, it's hitting already the pre-incarnate Christ. So parang it's a prophetic na dating. Iba naman, alam naman natin, di ba, dati kung anong inutos ng Panginoon, no more, no less yan. Huwag mong dagdagan, huwag mong bawasan talaga. Even until now naman, sabi yun sa Book of Revelation. Pero ginawa ni Moses, twice. So hindi talaga tayo makakapag-conclude dito kung ano po ito po ba talaga yung reason. Other Bible scholars, which I also find significant, ito po ang phrase ni Moses sa verse 10. And he said to them, "Listen now, you rebels, shall we bring forth water for you out of this rock?" Some Bible scholars said, ang kasalanan ni Moses is he took credit. Na dapat, ang Panginoon yung may kakayanan na, di ba? Ang Panginoon yung may kapangyarihan para gawin kung anong gusto niyang gawin. Instrumento lamang si Moses at si Aaron. Pero ano ginawa ni Moses dito as far as other interpretations are concerned? Parang ginamit ni Moses yung personal pronoun na, kailangan pa ba na aaning namin ito? Parang ipuprove namin? Shall we bring forth? So parang he took credit na kung dapat, ang Panginoon dapat yung may kakayanan at siya dapat yung makikredit for whatever will be happening through him and through Aaron. Okay, so yan po yung isang reason. Other reason naman ay nasa Deuteronomy chapter 3. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 3, verses 23 to 27. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 3, verses 23 to 27. Sabi po ni Moses, "I also pleaded with the Lord at that time, saying, O Lord, you have begun to show your servant your greatness and your strong hand. For what God is there in heaven or on earth who can do such works and mighty acts as yours?" 25. Let me, I pray, cross over. So parang nakiusap pa pala si Moses. No? Let me, I pray, cross over and see the fair land that is beyond the Jordan, that good hill country and Lebanon. But the Lord was angry with me on your account and would not listen to me. And the Lord said to me, "Enough, speak to me no more of this matter. Go up to the top of Pisgah and lift up your eyes to the west and north and south and east and see it with your eyes, for you shall not cross over Jordan." Ang iba naman pong Bible scholars, ito po yung naging interpretation. Other scholars interpreted na nagkaroon kasi ng blame si Moses sa mga Israelites for something na siya naman yung may kasalanan. Parang for disobeying God, and because of disobedience, God got angry with him. Ang ginawa ni Moses, inilabas yung galit sa Israelites. So he blamed Israelites. No, God was angry because of you. God, pinagalitan ako dahil sa inyo, pagagawa niyo ito eh. So, I don't think, kung ako naman, habang binabasa ko ito, parang pwede naman yata siguro palampasin si Moses. Sa kanyang mga, siguro, taking credit. Lahat naman tayo, we sometimes take credit for what God deserves. And sometimes we blame others for the wrong things that are happening in our lives. So parang, kung nung binabasa ko to, pwede naman siguro pagpasensyahan si Moses. Bakit talaga wala? Anyway, I could not question the Lord. But isa lang po nakita ko dito, no? Principle na pwede po natin balikan. As we evaluate the life of Moses on the negative part, ito po yun. I have a question for us this morning. Mga kapatid, have you broken your faith in God this year? May mga pagkakataon ba ngayong taon o sa mga nakalipas that you can say to yourself and to God this morning, there was a time na na-broke yung faith ko. There was a time na nagkaroon ako ng doubt. There was a time this year na I doubted the Lord. There was a time this year, there were times this year that I have questioned the Lord. There were times this year that I have discredited the Lord and I took glory. I took the credit. There were times this year that I blamed other people for what I have experienced na negative. Instead of looking to God, I have blamed other people for the kamalasan o mga kasamaan na nangyari sa buhay ko ngayon. Were there points in your life this year, mga kapatid? Have you broken your faith in God this year? So, yun, magandang tanong po yun. It's a question for meditation. As we have looked on the life of Moses on the negative part, ito po yung nakuha ko lang na tanong dun. Have you broken your faith in God? Have I? Have we? Have we broken our faith in God? Okay, just like what happened to Moses. Okay, so it's up for us to answer. Next, as we evaluate, tingnan din po natin, no, ang pangalawa. The positive side of evaluation of Moses' life. We go back to Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 7. Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 7. Although Moses was 120 years old, so trivia po ito. Anong taon po namatay si Moses? Ilang taon siya? 120 years old. Okay? So when Moses died with the age of 120 years, ano po nangyari? His eye was not dim, nor his vigor abated. So, we will also evaluate the positive side. Ano pong positive side po dito? Nung namatay po si Moses, hindi po siya namatay dahil may sakit siya. Diba? Many of us, if not all, would want death na matutulog ka lang, tapos patay ka na. Ayaw natin yung namamatay dahil binaril ka, o na-aksidente ka, o nagkasakit ka, kasi nararamdaman mo yung sakit. Gusto natin natutulog lang tayo, then the next minute we wake up, it's heaven. Diba? Gusto natin ganun eh. So, ang ganda, ito pala yung isa sa mga biblical characters na, he may have tasted death. Pero it's a kind of death na sabi dito, he died strong. Diba? Namatay po siya na malinaw pa yung mata niya, malakas pa siya, wala siyang sakit, he was healthy, he died because yun yung kalooban ng Panginoon. Yun lang yung direct answer dun eh. He died not because of any other negative thing, but he died because that's the will of God. Tapos na siguro ang mission niya. Okay? Well, aside from the breaking of faith, no, I believe that the Lord has taken Moses because the mission was already completed as far as Moses is concerned. Kasi pagpapatuloy na po yun ng ibang mga anak ng Panginoon na itatalaga niya. Verse 8. So the sons of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. Then the days of weeping and mourning for Moses came to an end. Another positive thing na makikita po natin dito sa buhay ni Moses ay hindi lang po siya namatay na talagang strong. Ano po? He was honored by many. Diba? Kung ikaw ang tao na kinakasuklaman ng maraming tao, sa tingin mo ba may aaten sa funeral mo? Diba? Siguro meron para sabi pa, yan, buting na sa'yo. Pero, on the case of Moses, it was different. Many people, the Israelites, mourned and wept for 30 days. Ganon kahalaga pala si Moses sa kanila. Siguro, if I were there, parang masasabi ko, it was a great loss. Mawalan ako ng isang leader katulad ni Moses. So they wept, they cried for 30 days kasi talagang honored na honor si Moses. That's a blessing. As we evaluate Moses on the positive side, ito pala si Moses talagang, he has left a legacy. He has left something na nung namatay siya, in-honor siya ng tao. Diba? He was respected for what he has done for 40 years of leadership. Verses 10 to 12. Since that time, ito, napakaganda po ito ng description. No prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face, for all the signs and wonders which the Lord sent him to perform in the land of Egypt against Pharaoh, all his servants, and all his land, and for all the mighty power, and for all the great terror which Moses performed in the sight of Israel. In short, okay, positive evaluation po ng buhay ni Moses is this: he was really a great man of God. There was nothing like him. Ang dami pong Bible characters, no, na may mga attachment na ganung phrase. Nothing like him. Solomon. Diba? Isa yun. Wala na mas taong mas wise pa kaysa sa kanya. Hindi lang ng panahon niya, kundi hanggang ngayon. No one can be wiser than King Solomon. Sino pa po ba? Si David. No one like him na, ibig sabihin, he is only the greatest king. The man after God's own heart. Ito naman si Moses, no prophet has risen like him all the days of his life. He was really a great man of God. He was really handpicked, talagang pinili ng Panginoon. He was blessed so much, just like the other Bible characters. No? So, positive evaluation po ng buhay ni Moses, ito po yun. It led me to this second question. Kanina, no, nung tinignan natin yung negative side, we have asked ourselves, have we broken faith with God this year? And as we look on the positive side, as we evaluate the positive side of Moses, it led me to this question: how will you end this year? Namatay po si Moses. But he died what? He died strong. He died in a way that he was really honored. The Israelites mourned and cried and wept for 30 days. They really had respected Moses. They really have valued the 40 years of leadership of Moses. He died with legacy. He died with positive influence. He died as a great man of God. He died as a hand-picked child of God. He died as a blessed person. Now, mga tanong po kapatid, how are we going to end this year? Are we going to end this year strong? Are we going to end this year that we will be leaving a legacy sa ating pong mga kaibigan? Matatapos ba yung taon na ito na sasabihin ng may makakapagsabi sa iyo, alam mo kapatid, salamat. Because before this year ends, alam mo naging mabuti ka sa akin ngayon 2012. I hope and pray na mas papalain ka ng Panginoon ngayon 2013. Meron na po ba nakapagsabi sa inyong tao? How will we end this year? Can we look to someone, to a fellow Christian, at masasabi ba natin sa kanya, alam mo, you have ended well? Or, meron bang makakapagsabi sa atin ngayon, we still have ilang, ano ba ngayong araw ngayon? 30, di ba? We still have one day. Para sabihin yon sa kung sino mang deserving makatanggap nun, at meron pang one day para, hopefully, Lord, meron man lang magsabi sa akin, na at the end of this year, meron pa lang may na-bless sa buhay namin. So, how are we going to end this year? Okay? And, ito po. Let me close with the second major thing I want to share this morning. Kanina po, we have evaluated Moses' life, both on the positive and negative side. Now, let's leap towards, kasi malapit ng bagong taon. Now, let's look on the meditation commanded by God to Joshua. So, punta na po tayo dun sa character ni Joshua. So, before we proceed to the book of Joshua, balikan po natin na in Deuteronomy 32, habang binabanggit po si Moses, ay binabanggit na rin si Joshua. Napansin niyo pa po ba yun? Talagang partner in crime, parang Batman and Robin po yung dalawang yan. Okay, now in verse 32, or in chapter 32 of Deuteronomy, verse 44, here, the word of God says, Then Moses came and spoke all the words of this song in the hearing of the people, he with Joshua, the son of Nun. So, kasama na si Joshua. And also in chapter 34, verse 9, here is also another introduction to Joshua. Now Joshua, the son of Nun, was filled with the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands on him, and the sons of Israel listened to him, and did as the Lord had commanded Moses. So ito po, mga background ni Joshua. So in short, kung ano si Moses, ganun din siya, talagang disciple. No, kung gaano sinunod ni Moses ang Panginoon, ganun din po ka-obedient si Joshua sa Panginoon. So let's now go to Joshua chapter 1, verses 1 to 8. Let me read that. Joshua chapter 1, verses 1 to 8. Now it came about the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, that the Lord spoke to Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' servant, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, cross this Jordan, you and all these people, to the land which I am giving to them, to the sons of Israel. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads, I have given it to you, just as I spoke to Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, and all the land of the Hittites, and as far as the great sea, toward the setting of the sun, will be your territory. No man will be able to stand before you all the days of your life, just as I have been with Moses. I will be with you. I will not fail you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you shall give this people possession of the land, which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous. Be careful to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, so that you may have success wherever you go. Verse 8, This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall what? Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it, for then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not tremble or be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Ang ganda. I think I don't need to explain this in detail. Ang ganda na po ng principles that we can get from the passage. Marami po sa atin, we greet Merry Christmas and what? Prosperous New Year. Di po ba? Kaya nagustuhan ko po talaga to. Ang transition from the last chapter of Deuteronomy to the first chapter of the book of Joshua, para sa akin, personally speaking, yan po ay magandang pagbulay-bulayan if you are on the transition from this year to another year. Hindi lang ngayong year, kundi sa bawat transition, sa bawat 31 ng December, ito ang ganda talaga itong balik-balikan at Deuteronomy 34 at Joshua 1 kasi makikita po natin yung transition. In order for you to face the new year, you have to look back. Diba? I-evaluate mo muna. Titingnan mo muna yung kagandahan o kapalpakan. You evaluate both the positive and negative aspects of your life. And now, you have to face 2013 with courage. You don't know what will happen yet in the year to come. Pero as you read Joshua 1, meron comfort ka makukuha, ay meron pala akong gagawin. Meron pala akong map. Meron pala akong guideline na susundin sa aking pong pagharap ng bagong taon. Many people, we greet each other, have a prosperous New Year. I suggest, mga kapatid, you read the book of Joshua. Alam niyo po, ang Joshua, kung ang Philippians ay book of joy, and Joshua is book of success. It's a book of success. And it's different from the other books in the Old Testament, sapagkat kung babasahin niyo po yung Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, ang dami po dun nakatalakay yung mga failures of disobedience ng Israelites. Pero once you read the book of Joshua, except for some, no, maliit lang. Ito yung failure nila sa A, kasi because of Achan's sin. Okay? But the rest of the book of Joshua, puro po yan success. Puro po yan conquer and conquer. Puro po sila naging successful sa kanila pong pag-conquer. Why? Because they were obedient to the law of the Lord. They were obedient to the commandments of God. So if you want to be successful, I want to be successful. I want 2013 na maging prosperous po ako talaga, personally speaking. And so, ang ganda po na nilid po ako ng Panginoon dito sa book na ito. I'm speaking out of my personal conviction. I have lots of personal frustrations. At sabi ko ngayong 2013, gusto kong bumawi. Gusto kong bumangon. Gusto kong maging successful. Gusto kong mapanagutan ang mga kailangan kong mga obligations, financial, at gusto kong mamuhay ngayong taon na I'm free of guilt, I'm free of worries, I'm free of pressures. And here comes Joshua, blessing po to ang book na ito para sa akin. So, you take time to read this book of Joshua because this is a book of prosperity. Not really materially, but this is really this would lead us to what really matters in life. What really is true success. Now, third question. Ba? Ano yan? Have you broken your faith in God? No, that's evaluation of the life of Moses. Also, part of evaluation of life of Moses is, how will you end this year? And as we start the book of Joshua, here's the question. How will you start this year? How will you start the new year? Paano po natin sisimulan ang bagong taon? Why? Because tingnan niyo po ang character ni Joshua. Okay? Siya po ito sinasabi ko kanina na New Year's resolution. God's desire for Israelites is for them to have a new beginning. In a way na magkakaroon po sila ng bagong leader in the person of Joshua. So here comes the Lord assigning Joshua bilang kapalit pa, hindi siya proxy kasi wala na nga talaga si Moses, no? Bilang siya na yung susunod sa mga yapak ni Moses. Here comes Joshua, and I'm sure, mga bata pa po si Joshua. So, how will you start the new year? How did Joshua start his leadership? Okay? Ano po sinabi dito ng Panginoon? There are lots of promises. Sabi dito ng Panginoon sa verse 5, no man will be able to stand before you all the days of your life. Paano po sinimulan ni Joshua? I believe, as we read between the lines, Joshua started his leadership what? Claiming the promises of God for him. Ano po ba promise ng Panginoon? Hindi pa nga natin narinig dito si Joshua nagsasalita. Pero pinangunahan ng Panginoon, no, Joshua, you may have some things in your mind right now. Hala, ako na magle-lead ngayon. Sino ako para pantayan ng leadership qualities ni Moses? So parang sinasabi siguro ng Panginoon, okay, as you think about those probable worries, Joshua, I am telling you now these things. There will be no other person who will stand before you, just as kung ano po ang ginawa ng Panginoon kay Moses. Okay? At ano pa sabi ng Panginoon? Joshua, bago man niya manguna at dumami pa yung mga doubts mo sa sarili mo, let me tell you this, I am with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. So mga kapatid, how are you going to start the new year? As Joshua had started his leadership with claiming the promises of God, panalangin ko po, ganun din po yung gagawin natin. We will start 2013 what? We claim promises of God. Lord, I will start 2013 claiming your promises. Okay? Not making promises like resolutions, but claiming your promises. Kasi ako, pag nangako ako, ay, ako, baka hindi ko siya ma-fulfill. So, what am I going to do? Tulad ko na sinabi ni Brother Chester kanina, unstable tayo eh. Finite tayo. So, anong gagawin natin? You look upon to the person who is what? And who is stable. That's God. You go to the person who is what? Who is never changing. That's God. You go to the person, okay, who is infinite. Kasi ano tayo? Finite tayo. Limitado lang tayo. But God is infinite. So, as we face 2013, let's claim God's promises. Okay, second question. Sabi po dito sa verse 8, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it, for then you will make your way prosperous, then you will have success. Okay? Second question po, from the meditation commanded by the Lord to Joshua. Okay? Are we willing to face new set of challenges this year? Okay? Are we willing and are we ready to face new challenges or new set of challenges this year? Okay? We are ready kung meron tayong sandata. Magiging handa lang po tayo kapag meron kayong mga bagay na makakatulong sa iyo harapin ang mga dapat mong harapin. In our case as Christians, we have, sabi po na kanina din sa Sunday school natin, we are in a warfare. Our faith is always tested. Hindi lang ngayon 2012. For sure, 2013 will be characterized with more testings of faith. Okay? At since mas marami pa pong paghahamon ng ating pananampalataya na mangyayari ngayon 2013, the question is, are you ready? Are we prepared for those tests of faith? Okay? What would be the answer? Joshua had an answer for us. Okay? Meditate upon it day and night. Ano po ang isang bagay na makakapaghanda sa atin sa test of faith? Ito po. The Word of God. Okay? We will meditate upon it day and night because this is our map. This is our guideline. This is our manual, no, para sa appliance. This is our manual for life. So, are we ready? Yes, we are. And we will be if we have the Word of God. Diba? Ito po yung ating sandalan. O, ito po yung ating pinagbabasihan ng ating pananampalataya at patuloy na paglago natin sa ating spiritual na buhay. So again, this is a call for evaluation and meditation. No, ito po ay isang paanyaya sa bawat isa sa atin na tayo po ay sariwain natin ang nakaraang taon, ang lilipas na taong ito. Okay? And let's ask ourselves, on the past years, on the past days, have we broken our faith in God? Lumayo po ba tayo sa Panginoon? Okay? Nagkaroon po ba tayo ng doubt sa pagkilos ng Panginoon? If we did, what are we going to do? How are we going to end? That's the second challenge. How are we going to end? Are we going to end this year strong, happy, joyful? Are we going to end this year with full thanksgiving? Salamat, Panginoon! Sapagkat hindi ko lang po ito mairaraos, kundi naging victorious din po ako ngayong taon. Third, how are you going to face 2013? Will you claim God's promises that is set before us? Nandito naman po yung pangako ng Panginoon eh. Ang pangako ng Panginoon, hindi po siya Unlike sa nangyayari ngayon na if you want to know how to face 2013, lots of people right now are going to fortune tellers. Okay? Kasi magtatanong sila kung ano yung mangyayari. Pero ang kakaiba po sa ating mga manampalataya kasi hindi na po natin kailangan ng fortune tellers sapagkat years before na ihanda na po ng Panginoon sa atin ang sagot sa ating magiging katanungan. Okay? How are you going to face 2013? You look at the scriptures because there are lots of promises that will help you face not just 2013, but the rest of the years to come until He comes again. And number 4, are we ready to face new set of challenges? Or are we ready to face new set of faith testing this coming 2013? I hope and pray we are. Okay? Purihin po yung Panginoon for His Word and for the lives of Moses and Joshua. We may not be able to really be like them, okay, sa kanila pong tindi ng pananampalataya sa Panginoon, but at least, no, there are really great lessons that we have learned this morning from their lives, and hopefully po, ito po ay magiging tugon din natin sa ating pong pagsalubong ng bagong taon. Let us evaluate and let us meditate.